All right, this is so much fun. I figured I'll just make some more. I hope these are turning out okay. I hope you girls are enjoying them. Um, Mario, your cousin Mario, and the baseball bat. So you're gonna have to ask. Your mom will know probably a little. She might remember more of this story, but so um, your when your dad and mom met, obviously, your dad just fell head over heels over your mom. She was his Italian princess. That's what he used to say. That's what he called her. I think, if I remember right, they met. I met online, and then I knew at that point once you were in his life, I was like, I am not his best friend anymore. I am number two friend, and that's okay. I was never jealous or ever took that for your dad. I was super happy for Mike that he found somebody like Anna in his life. So I can't remember how he proposed. Your mom would know that. I remember the ring. I think we were talking about it one time, and then he proposed. So then it's time to get married. So uh, they had your mom and dad had a dinner party for all the people in the wedding, and so I was the best man, and your I'll tell you about that. I'll tell you what happened real quick about what happened with the. I don't know, Anna. You'll have to tell me later. I don't know if there was anything you ever said to Mike about his bachelor party. So I was his best man, and I was supposed to do the bachelor party, and I knew Mike, and I knew that he didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to do anything that would upset your mom. So that meant no major drinking and no girls. And I'm not a drinker, and I'm not a girly, chasing the girls. That's not me. And I think your dad wanted me I think we were gonna go laser tagging. We were gonna do nerdy stuff, the nerdy thing. But I think your uncle had a different idea, and he wanted to take Mike out to a club where ladies take off their clothes. And your dad did not want to do that. And I think they picked him up and they told him they were going to go meet us, but they went and did something else. And your dad was like furious. I mean, to the point of like, like, I want out of this car. And he's calling me on the phone. You got to come and get me, you know. So, but there was two. So that happened, and so we ended up going out and doing something fun. We made the best we could, and so there was two guys that lived next door to your dad, and they were friends for a long time. We used to go to parties at their house and things like this. I can't remember their names, um, but they were also in the wedding, and they were going to be best. They were going to be groomsmen because they were your dad's friends. They were our friends. We would go hang out and do parties at their house. They would come over. They like cars, and um, but what happened was is we all went out to a dinner party, and they drank a lot, and when they drank, their mouths got talking, and I think they said something about your mom. I think they called her a gold digger. You probably know what that means. That means and if you don't, it's a girl that wants to marry somebody because they got more money than them, because it's all about the money. And what was funny about that is your mom made more money than your dad when they got married. I think she made like $8,000 more a year, and she drove a really nice car. So how could she be a gold digger? And we couldn't figure it out. But they said something really negative about your mom, and it got back. I don't know if some of your mom's girlfriends heard it, or somehow it got back to her, which then got back to Mike, your dad, and then it got back to me. And so your dad's calling me up on the phone. I think, I could be wrong, the morning of the wedding. The morning of the wedding, he calls me real early and he goes, "This is what happened last night after the party, or during the party when so and so's were drinking." And he's like, "They can't be in the wedding." And I'm like, "Well, I know that, but what are we gonna do?" And he's like, "You got it. You're the best man. I can't deal with this right now. I can't handle it. They said something bad about my true love, and they're not gonna be the wedding." I'm like, "All right, I'll deal with it." So I called him up, and I said, guys, what did you say? Why did you do this? Well, whatever. And never, and I'll be honest. I feel kind of bad for them. So whereas your dad and your grandma had a different relationship with grandpa, I'm sure you know that grandpa spent a lot of time away and wasn't there with your dad a lot. Their family was the reverse, where the mom was cheating on the dad, and they grew up in a very negative view of women, so they treated women poorly. And I'll be honest, I think they were probably jealous that your dad found somebody that he was in love with and that was in love with him, and they couldn't find that because they didn't treat women. But that didn't mean they should have said what they said. So I called them up and I'm like, guys, you can't be in a wedding. And it hit the fan, girls. It was like out of control. So this is the day of the wedding and they're cursing me out and they're mad. So next thing I know, I get a phone call from like your dad, and your dad's out in the front of the house and they're there. They're going to fight. And these guys, none of these guys were fighters. They were all just, your dad was a lover, not a fighter. Although I wouldn't put it past him that he could defend himself because he was a pretty, he was a pretty built guy. But those guys weren't fighters either. They were all just trash. And they're out there just screaming and cursing about money and this and calling your mom all sorts of names. And so I show up and I'm like, dude, what are we going to do? Get arrested on the day of the wedding out in the thing? I'm like, you got to go inside and just go get ready. I'll deal with this. Well, your dad or somehow your cousin Mario found out this was going on. And so here comes Mario and he drives up, jumps, your cousin Mario, and he pulls out a baseball bat. And I'm like, whoa. This cannot be going on. We cannot all get arrested and thrown in jail while your soon-to-be bride is waiting down at the place. So yeah, so your cousin Mario showed up with a baseball bat. He's gonna bust heads because that's how he rolled. I think he had a friend with him too. So I'm like, hey, everybody stop. So I'm like the peacemaker, and I'm like, you guys gotta go because this is gonna hit the fan. So that's the story of your cousin Mario with a baseball bat on your parents' wedding day in the front yard of his house. So I'll never forget that. I was like, okay, we got to get to the wedding.